Hey, what's up everyone, Snackbox. Hope you all are having an amazing day, guys. In this video, I want to showcase a couple of teams that can duo or trio the event dungeon stage 30. And you can also apply these strategies that I'm about to show you on lower stages and scale down the stats. The stat requirements are lower on lower stages, obviously. And I will also show you all the gear and everything you need to know before we go into this boss fight. Make sure you hit that like button, it really goes a long way. Also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and maybe at some point we can get me on the test server with 8,000 subscribers. I want to reach that at some point this year, and hopefully we can do it. Anyway, let's start off with the mechanics of this boss. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to do here is duo or trio this boss, or maybe even solo, and level food champions at the same time, be more energy efficient. The best way to do it is to get rid of these ads. Okay, we want to get rid of Hegemon, Narcissus, and Korra and Lausanne before the boss takes a turn. Okay, we want to get rid of them, or at least most of them, but in the best case scenario all of them, and then only face the boss alone, because the boss alone is not that dangerous. He's a support type champion and he's not really doing damage. He has a lot of control with block, active skills, and snare and so on, and intercept stacks that he places on him. But other than that, he's not really dangerous. He doesn't do damage, and he's very easy to solo, I have to say. If the ads are dead, which are his main damage source, his companions, if they are gone, then there's absolutely no threat. So I'm going to show you a couple of strategies on how to do this. The first one will be Ezio. Okay, I'm going to start off with Ezio, and later on I'm going to show you maybe a more advanced team on how to duo this, and also a couple of options, replacements for those champions. And it's going to be with Marius, and it will be a lot faster. We will also use Marius here with Ezio, and later on just Marius with another champion. Okay, so what we want to do here is utilize his poison activation. Maybe you saw the solo dragon video that I did. If not, then go ahead and check it out. He can solo the dragon dungeon, also the highest stage, and the gear requirement is not that crazy. Okay, even for lower stages it will be a lot less. All right, so the first thing we want to make sure here is that we have enough poisons to kill off the ads with Ezio's poison activation. Okay, he will activate poisons if there are enemies under 4 or more debuffs. So we want to make sure that they have 4 debuffs at least. Now he's placing 2 poisons. That means we only need 2 poisons that he activates, but in general we need 10 ticks of poisons. That means at least 5 poisons with 2 ticks, or 3 poisons with 3 ticks, and 1 poison with 1 tick, and so on. So we need 10 ticks. We need to activate 10 ticks to kill off the ads. That is the main goal here. And there is no better champion to do this with than Kalvalax. Now, here's the thing. If you just use 1 poisoner, for some reason, sometimes it fails. Let's actually test this right here like this, okay? Sometimes, even if all the poisons are placed, it fails. I don't know what it is exactly, why that is, but let's see. Maybe it happens here. So we placed all the poisons, none got resisted, all of them dead, works perfectly fine, right? But sometimes if 1 poison resists, I think it's because we don't have 4 debuffs. I don't know if it counts Ezio's poisons as well. So let's say we have 3 poisons on the ads. Ezio activates them. Does he place the poisons before he activates them? I mean, normally he should. So then he, the counter should be at 4 or at least 5, and he should be able to kill the ads. But for some reason it failed a couple of times. I don't know what the reason behind that was. But yeah, as you can see, Ezio one-shot the ads. I mean, he activated the poison explosion, killed them off, and now it's basically all about soloing the boss. I don't have a regen set on Ezio. All I have on him is high HP and the golden elixir, and he also has brimstone, and this is kind of like our main damage source after we killed the ads, because as you can see, the boss will place the block active skills all over again. So that slows the whole thing kind of down. At this very moment, I think if you started the Ezio chase at the very first day and just collected all the rewards from the daily login, then you should have the 5-star soul by now. You should have the 5-star soul by now, and that means the brimstone will proc a lot more often, and also you get additional accuracy and so on, the additional stats, and it will be a lot easier for you to reach the stats that I'm about to show you. So yeah, that's kind of like the main thing. There's only one thing that we have to consider when, you know, building him for this, and that is to at least have a 4-piece mercurial set on him, a 4-piece stone skin set, or a 4-piece feral set. Immunity sets also work, but in the best case you use a 9-piece set, because then you can also pair, I don't know, other sets on him, artifact sets. Maybe a immortal set to give him a little bit more heal, maybe perception and so on. So it, you know, utilizing 9-piece sets, or at least a 4-piece set bonus of a 9-piece set with accessories will definitely help you to build, you know, this Ezio right here that I'm using. But yeah, as you can see, the brimstone doesn't proc too often because I only have a 2-star soul at the moment. I delayed the whole daily login thing a little bit. So with a 5-star soul, this will be a lot faster, okay? But, you know, still 3 minutes duo with Ezio and Kalvalax. If you don't have a Kalvalax, there is a replacement. There is a replacement, and that is Taurus. Okay, Taurus does pretty much the same thing. The only difference is that he needs speed, okay? He needs speed. He needs to be faster than Ezio, plays the poisons, and then Ezio activates the poisons, where Kalvalax doesn't need speed. He just places them at the start of the round, and he's a lot more easier to build. You only need the accuracy on him, and that's about it. Now let's take a look. I think here sometimes it failed. I don't know if that has to do with the attack of Taurus, because I have the poison relic on Taurus and Kalvalax, but Kalvalax has a lot more. He has a lot more attack. So as you can see, they survive with like 1 HP, and now Ezio is dead because he got his HP balance below 50%. So with Taurus, for some reason, I don't know if it's the stats or not, but for some reason it's not enough damage, even though we have like 4 poisons out. That's 8 ticks, and then Ezio places another 2 poisons, activates them. So I don't know what's going on, but it should be killing them, okay? Let's actually try this one more time, because I'm pretty sure it can work. Like it was like less than 1 HP left on Narcissus and Lausanne, and I don't know what the reason is for that, but it might be, I don't know. As you can see, we have even more. See, Ancora survived this, even though we had like 2 poisons at 3 turns and 2 poisons at 2 turns. That's like 10 ticks, and she still survived. So I don't know, guys. I don't know what I'm missing. Maybe it's something from the Unity champion. I'm not quite sure. Not aware what this is about, but something is off there. All right, I want to try this one more time, because I couldn't really find anything that would prevent Ancora from dying. I don't know what it is, no idea. After rewatching the video, I realized that Ezio was weak hitting Ancora and didn't place the additional 2 poisons, and that's why she survived. So make sure you bring enough poisons. Also, champions that don't hit and can't weak hit, make sure you use champions that place poisons like Taurus, and that way you make sure you have 100% win rate. Ancora doesn't get a lot of damage. Ancora doesn't get a lot of damage, and I don't know what the reason for that is. Let's do this again. She should die with like 4, like, now she dies. So is it maybe because of Pontiff's passive? That could be, right? Like, where is it? Allies receive 25% less damage from enemies under block. Damage, Unkillable Veil, and Perfect Veil. And Ezio is under Veil and Perfect Veil at the start, so 25% less damage. Does that affect the poison activation skill? That is the question. Maybe it does, and maybe that's why it's failing. Okay, that could be the reason why. I guess that is the reason why. Maybe this affects the poison activation, but I don't know if it should. Not quite sure. It's a weird one, okay? It's a weird one, but it seems like that's the reason why. I don't see another reason why that would be. That might be it. So yeah. Anyway, as you can see, sometimes it works. Now the thing is, if you want to make sure that this is 100%, let me actually retry this. You know, you can use 2 Tauruses or a Kalvalax and a Taurus, or 2 Kalvalaxes, and then you have enough poisons for sure, okay? There's no, even if the 25% less damage kick in from his passive, if that is what is causing it, even if that's the case, then you will have enough poisons to kill everybody. Also, another thing is, if you just use 1 poisoner, you always have that 3% chance, okay? You always have that 3% chance that they don't, you know, that you don't place the debuffs, the poisons, and then the whole run will fail, okay? If you don't place enough poisons, it will fail. But with 2 poisoners, it's, you know, there need to be a lot of 3% chances that are proccing, and it's very unlikely, let's say it like this. So yeah, and once you got the ads down, you know, Ezio will just take care of the boss alone. With Brimstone, it's a very secure thing. And the Golden Elixir. Now, if you don't have 2 poisoners, another thing you can do is chuck in somebody like, let's say you don't have a Kalvalax, okay? You only have a Taurus, don't have a Kalvalax, chuck in a Marius, all right? Now, here the most important thing is obviously that you have, like I said, Stone Skin, 4-piece Stone Skin, Mercurial, or any form of immunity, so the Hegemon doesn't place the block active skills on you. Otherwise, you know, it's GG's. That's pretty much the biggest issue here where the run can fail. You need to prevent that block active skills somehow, okay? Make sure you have some form of immunity. And that way you make sure you will always have your skills ready. And as you can see with Marius, this is actually a pretty fast run. And I don't think you need, you know, the 6-star crushing rend and all of that if you run it like this with poisons. Okay, you have the poison activation, the poison explosion, plus the max HP hits. You only need to hit for like 50% HP of the minions. And I think, you know, this is pretty accessible for a lot of people. But like I said, you can also run 2 Tauruses. They only need to be fast enough. I think with a 2, like if you use the speed aura of Ezio with like 280 speed, I was still going with Ezio before the boss. So everything above 280 will go before the boss. Okay, so for example, Taurus can be at, I don't know, for example, 287. Then the next Taurus is 285 and Ezio 280. And, you know, you will have enough poisons and kill the ads, and then Ezio will solo the boss. But you also don't need to necessarily use a second Taurus. You can also use a Bad L or any poisoner really. You just gotta make sure you place enough poisons. As you saw, sometimes 5 poisons, like 10 ticks, are not enough because of that passive of Pontiff. I'm not quite sure if that's the case, but like I said, I don't know. I can think of another reason why Ezio wouldn't kill some of the champions sometimes. So you definitely want to make sure you have like at least, you know, you place at least like 3 poisons per champion. So you place 4 with Taurus and then another 3 with another champion, or another 2 with another champion. Okay, so let's say Taurus 4, Bad L 2, that's 6, and then Ezio places another 2, that's 8 poisons with at least 2 ticks on each one. That should be enough. Now let's talk about a faster way to do this. You can use Marius alone. Okay, Marius can solo stage 20, I think. Let's actually try that real quick. I'm pretty sure he can. I will show you the build later. So let's see. I think stage 20 should be doable solo. I think Ezio could solo this as well. Yeah, so no problem, okay? Absolutely no problem. He will just annihilate this boss. I mean, look at that, okay? 10 seconds. He counterattacks all the time. Now, let's talk about stage 30 though, because this is probably more interesting. And the way that I'm doing this is using champions that place decrease defense and weaken. And I want to avoid hits, okay? I want to avoid hits. And the reason why is because Losan, the Unity champion from the Knights Revenants, he has a passive. When he gets attacked, he has a chance to trigger an instant turn, and I want to avoid that. Okay, so the best way to do that is use champions that are placing debuffs. Okay, for example, I can run a Draco morph. Okay, the only thing I have to make sure is that I'm fast enough. Now, without a speed aura, I need to be at like 305 speed. I don't know if that's the exact number, but that's pretty close, okay? So 305 speed, and then the debuffer needs to be faster than that. So here's actually my preset. Let me show you the other preset before we go into this team. So basically it's just, you know, prioritizing Ezio's poison activation. Taurus doesn't need any preset. He's always using the Toxic Nova first, and Marius here just prioritizing the max HP hit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all you have to do, okay? For this team, it is prioritizing the increased defense, the A3, and then the A2. And here you have to prioritize the A3 Baleful Eye with Draco, okay? So let's do this real quick. This should be a very, very quick run. Again, we need some form of immunity, Stone Skin, Mercurial, or anything that could prevent the block active skills from Hegemon. That's always the first thing you have to keep in mind, okay? And boom, we killed almost all ads. Now we killed all of them, okay? So that's the cool thing with Marius. You know, if one of them survives with like a little bit of HP, he will counterattack as soon as the boss uses this skill, decreases turn meters of all enemies. Yeah, as you can see, 30 seconds, pretty fast. Let's do this one more time. Also, another cool thing with Draco is that, you know, he has this poisons on the A2, so if he places them, it actually speeds up the run a little bit, and it helps with the time. But yeah, this is 100% win rate, didn't fail so far, and yeah, pretty awesome if you ask me. Now, there is a replacement for Draco, okay? You can replace Draco. I don't think we need a preset. I'm just gonna remove Draco, and we can do it like this, all right? And then use Spider, all right? He's an epic champion. Spider is an amazing epic champion, very overlooked, and he's kind of like a budget Lydia, but you know, he has a small weekend, okay? He has a small weekend. Now, theoretically, you could run something like Nature's Bounty, and with Nature's Bounty, you have a chance to convert this small weekend into a big weekend debuff, but I don't think it is super necessary, okay? It can still work without. Now, he's providing one more debuff that is decreased attack, but it's not super mandatory or important for this, what we are doing here. But, you know, it's a decreased defense and the weakened skill on the same skill, and it's placing it. So affinity doesn't matter. Okay, we have a 25% speed aura. You can lower Marius his speed as well. So let's actually take a look if he still goes first. If I swap out the gear, so we're gonna slow him down to 293, and he should still be able to take a turn. Okay, so let's do this. Now we're actually running food champions as well. There we go. The decreased defense got resisted on Narcissus, but it didn't matter. Alright, and from here it's pretty much GG's. There's nothing that can happen. We're done. Alright, so it's pretty much the same strategy as with Draco, just that Spider is a little bit more accessible, easier to book, and, you know, a little bit worse than Draco, but it doesn't really matter. You know, no big difference. And there we go, 32 seconds, okay? With Spider. With Spider, that cool thing is that you have that speed aura, that 25% dungeon speed aura. Pretty amazing champion. Now, you could also use Lydia, but the one thing that I don't like about Lydia is that she can trigger that instant turn from low sand. That's the one thing that I don't like, and that's why I don't like to use her, okay? So I'd rather use champions like Draco, champions like Spider, that are placing decreased defense and weaken and not attacking, and then placing with the attack. But let's actually check. Maybe we can do this like this too with Kalvalax. All right, let's check out if this works as well. Maybe it does. Who knows? The poisons should deal a decent amount of damage, so maybe that works. Yeah. See. I mean, Losan survives kind of a little bit too much, but it still works, as you can see, okay? No problem whatsoever. Boom. All right, we're done. Okay, so you can do it with Kalvalax as well. I think this is pretty much a 100% win rate as well. There's no chance this can fail. Marius does so much damage, and he has, the life drink of mastery. He will always heal up when he drops below 50%. And then it's pretty much a wrap. Absolutely no problem. Okay, so why should you duo or trio this dungeon? I mean, you always want to maximize your energy efficiency. You always want to get the most out of your energy. And if you're doing or running this dungeon on trio, you're leveling your food champions at the same time, and you don't have to invest your energy or brews or other resources to level them up. And it costs a little bit more time, but at the same time, you get more for your energy. We do have the event dungeon tournament at this very moment. I already finished this up. I hope I can win this, but it's looking good. I'm definitely going to dump a little bit more energy in here, try to get, secure the first place. I want to get these relic mats. And I think, the Immortal Soulstone is pretty good to get out of here. Every time there's an Immortal Soulstone as reward in a dungeon, that's where I invest my energy in, because I want to improve my soul acquisition, okay? I want to improve my soul acquisition, and also I want to improve the amount of points that I have saved up for future deck of fates. And that is really important for me, okay? All right, so let's talk about the gear and everything. Let's start off with Ezio, actually. He was the first champion that I used. So let's check that out real quick. He's missing a boot right now because of Draco, but that's fine. So let's take a look. 93k HP. I don't think you need that crazy amount of HP. You can probably run him with like 80k. The boss doesn't deal any damage, maybe even 70k. Feel free to test a little bit and see where you can still solo the dungeon. I don't think he needs a crazy amount of HP to do this with a golden elixir. The boss doesn't really deal anything in terms of damage. Then we have like 2.8k defense. That's also not a lot. 286 speed, like I said. With the speed aura, if you're at 280, my Ezio will still go in first. And you want to be around 515 accuracy to place debuffs. More is even better, but I wouldn't go higher than 600. All right. Then I had the 4-star golden elixir on him. Bosses deal 5% less damage to the wearer. Fills the turn meter by 10% when their HP drops below 50%. This helps a little bit, to get more turns in. I have the Brimstone Blessing on him, which is absolutely necessary to speed up the run. The boss will place block active skills on Ezio, so he won't be able to use his skills that much. That's why we gotta rely on Smite, okay? He's completely booked, but in theory, you only need to book this, okay, for this strategy right here. You only need to book this poison activation skill, and here are the masteries. If you want, you can actually also go with Eagle Eye if you can't hit the accuracy without it. That definitely helps. I just used the Oppressor for soloing Dragon, okay? That's why it's in there, but you can definitely go with Eagle Eye for this right here. Then we had Taurus. Taurus is actually also mostly naked right now, but this is the gear that I used on him. So 50k HP, doesn't really matter. You can also have 30k HP and you will still survive Hegemon. 2.5k defense, 309 speed. He just needs to be faster than Ezio, okay? I just want him to be faster than Ezio, and that's about it. You don't need to be that fast, okay? You can be like at 290, okay? 10 more speed than Ezio and you should be fine. And again, 515 accuracy minimum, more is better, okay? But like I said, 600, you shouldn't go higher than 600. I have the Poison Relic on him at 3-star. It definitely helps with attack, and the minions do get more damage from this. And then, he's completely booked, but in general, you only need to book this Toxic Nova skill. Nature's Wrath doesn't really help here. Maybe you can go with Commanding Presence, improve the speed aura of Ezio if you have a blessing for Taurus. And then these are like very old masteries. I didn't change them for this run right here, but you can also go with Eagle Eye if you're missing accuracy, if you can't hit it without Eagle Eye. That definitely helps. You don't need to go with War Master. That's like, I don't know when I changed the masteries for Taurus last time, maybe like 2022 or something. So yeah, that's pretty much it about Taurus. Then we had Kalvalax as well as our poisoner. I use him pretty much in my PvP build. 42k HP, 2.6k defense. Speed doesn't matter. He will place the poisons at the start of the turn. As you can see, he's at 659 accuracy. He also has 10k attack. Like I said, 515 accuracy minimum. Has a poison relic. Completely booked. Doesn't need to be booked for this. All you have to care about is this passive. And these are the masteries right here. Then we had Marius, okay? This is my Marius that I'm using. He's pretty much in my PvP build here, in my Stone Skin Lethal build. 50k HP, 7.4k defense almost, like 1 defense that's missing. 293 speed. Now for the Ezio comp, this is fine. 293, if you chuck him in there. Or if you use the speed aura from Spider, that's fine. But if you don't use the speed aura, then go with 305 speed, okay? Crit cap, 340 crit damage. Accuracy doesn't matter that much. I have the Cat's Gaze on him, which definitely helps, but I'm pretty sure you can do it without it. And Crushing Rend, 6-star Crushing Rend. You know, there's a lot of Death Ignore right here, but I'm pretty sure you can do it without it. And then these are the masteries. Now, let's talk about Draco. So, he was in a 9-piece Feral set. Doesn't need to be. This is optional. And again, 309 speed. He just needs to be faster than a 305 Marius if you pair them, okay? Everything else doesn't matter, but the accuracy, it's a little bit low. You know, like I said, 515 is ideal, but it still works. He doesn't really need to be booked. There's no additional chance if you book his A3. That's the cool thing about Draco. You only decrease the cooldowns. And these are the masteries, not even done, okay? So you can definitely go with Eagle Eye, get his accuracy up, and that makes it easier to build him. Then we also had Spider, which is kind of the replacement for Draco in this case. And you can also build him in a 9-piece Feral set. That should work, but it's not super necessary. This is the build that I use and it was still working, okay? 311 speed, again, it's the same amount of speed. It only needs to be faster than 305, okay? Or whatever your Marius speed is. Everything else doesn't really matter that much, besides the accuracy, 515 minimum. No relic. Cruelty, like I said, you could go with Nature's Bounty. That gives you a chance to improve the weaken from a small weaken to a big weaken, but not super necessary. You definitely want to book his A3 because you get like 40% chance, okay, on top. No masteries at all. I mean, tier 1 masteries, okay, 2 tier 1 masteries, but other than that, nothing here. If you go with full masteries, definitely go with Eagle Eye and additional accuracy and stuff. That will definitely make it easier for you to build him. But yeah, guys, I think I covered all of them. I don't know if I forgot somebody, but I don't think so. So yeah, this is the team that I usually run. Okay, Marius plus Draco, very efficient duo, very fast, like 30-40 seconds in a worst case scenario, I think. And leveling full, getting the most value for my energy here, while still having a chance for mythical gear, which is super important. And yeah, I think the Chronophage set is also good to have. Okay, it's not crazy good, but it's not bad. It's definitely a nice set. It has nice stats on a 1-piece bonus, 2-piece bonus, and so on. So a lot of people are utilizing even a 1-set bonus to get a lot of resistance. Okay, so for example, with 1 piece, you already get 20 resistance, and then with 3 pieces, you get another 20 resistance and 10% speed. So, you know, those set bonuses are very, very strong to stack up your res. Okay, if you're trying to build like higher res builds, you can use a Chronophage ring and you get 20 resistance from that ring. Okay, then you use another set that gives you resistance, like Protection, I think does, or Supersonic or whatever, and that way you can stack up a lot of resistance from like 1-piece set bonuses. But also a 4-piece set is pretty nice to have. If you have like 1 set for each faction, you know, like 1 amulet and 1 ring for every faction, that definitely helps for like siege battles and stuff like that. You know, Lockout would definitely have a lot more value now, and I think that means that Chronophage artifacts and accessories will also be more desirable. So yeah guys, I'm gonna keep dumping my free energy into this event dungeon, get a little bit more points, secure the first place, and I hope this helped you. I hope maybe this will spark an idea for you to do this as well with Ezio plus Marius, Ezio plus Kalvalax, Taurus, whatever. You can mix those champions up. And maybe you also have another idea, another champion that can fit in. Basically, with Ezio, you can pair any poisoner. As long as you have enough poisons, he will get the job done. Even if you run it with like 4 champions, like 4 poisoners, they have 3 poisoners and Ezio, it's still better than doing it with a full team. You know, leveling 1 food champion is better than none. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, please smash that like button. It really goes a long way. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more raid content. The YouTube algorithms can suggest you a video that you might like right here. And see you in the next one.